joining us on our carpool conversations as we head towards the Mandalay Bay. Manjit, before we go any further, I think it's got to be said, you actually might have this Porsche Taycan coming in the post, right?
When they finally allow me to actually get hold of it, yes.
I'm so sorry, that wait must be...
it's still a year away.
Yeah, that must be one of the longest waits I can ever imagine, because I've been driving around with it today, dropping people off at the Mandalay, and I've been having a great time. So
it's nice, isn't it?
It's absolutely lovely. What made you go for it?
Obviously because it's fully electric.
Yeah.
Sustainability.
Oh yeah.
Because of fuel price. It's complete rubbish. It looks stunning. Like, why wouldn't you?
I know.
Got nothing to do with anything else.
Can you tell me what have been your biggest bugbears or annoyances about the insurance industry, and maybe what's changed about that?
Do you know what? I think it's because we've, as an industry, we kind of accept the fact that nobody really wants change. Customers don't really want change. And just because customers aren't asking for different products doesn't mean to say they don't want them.
Sure.
But since COVID, we're starting to see an awful lot more pay-per-mile type products.
Yep.
Well, we've been able to do that for years, right? But
Aye.
Nobody's introduced them because I guess the customer wasn't sitting at home kind of looking out on the drive kind of going, well, why am I paying an annual premium for a car that's not moving most of the time?
Yeah.
And that kind of leads on to everything. It leads on to, why am I paying annual premium? Whoa. You did that deliberately.
Yes.
People wanting, why am I insuring my laptop all year round when actually I only really need it insured when it's out of the house? So,
yeah.
And the nice thing is with the technology that's available now, we can track things like the laptop's in the house or not in the house. I can track the fact that my 55-inch TV's just walked out of the house, kind of stuff.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
now that we're able to do that, we can actually start to bring more innovative propositions, but also consumers are experiencing this stuff in other industries.
Yeah.
I order something on Amazon 11 o'clock at night, and I can literally watch it
come
coming
from the
in.
depot.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it's there next morning. So why should I, if I need something replacing on insurance, for a product, why am I having to wait 2 weeks for those kind of things to happen?
Fascinating. Yeah. Now, well, with that in mind, so would you say that
driverless car, right?
Yes.
Did you see it with all the sensors?
Oh,
inside?
it's incredible. Now that's one incredible way of change, isn't it? It's like people are looking at cars and not just looking at the design of a car and how they can make it more customer experience. They're actually just looking at how you can completely disassemble cars. And looking at that then and how you can deconstruct an industry, like how can you deconstruct the auto industry, like we have in this here electric car, or just to the left of me, this driverless vehicle. How's insurance doing that now? We've talked about actually how it's going to change the customer proposition, but what's the technology behind that?
I think it's not just technology, it's data.
Yeah.
And you look at, look at this car. Look at most of the cars around us. The amount of sensors that these cars have in them. I think I was reading somewhere. So an average new car is outputting about 4 gigabytes worth of data.
Wow.
A day.
Oh my
right?
gosh.
And that driverless car will be outputting probably around 4 gigabytes an hour. Now, if you think about all of that data that's coming out, you can suddenly start to change all sorts of propositions that will disrupt insurance. Touch wood, we don't, but you have an accident, even in a standard, say BMW. BMW know instantly that you've had an accident. They know if your airbags have gone off. They know how badly damaged your car is, and all of a sudden they take complete control of the whole claims management process.
Wow.
To the point where, you're not even going to have to think about ringing your insurance company, because the first time your insurer will know is when that car's in the BMW workshop.
Yeah.
And BMW are ringing your insurer up, going, we've got Mr. Ron.
They're doing the heavy lifting for you.
Yeah, but that's massive disruption for the industry as well, because all of a sudden they're in control.
Yeah.
So no longer as an insurer can I put your car into my network of body shop repair garages is
They
going
really do
where
that.
BMW, no, because BMW don't want you to. They don't want you driving around in a Jaguar XF as a temporary loan car. They want you in a BMW. And, you know, and at the same time, if the car's damaged, they want that opportunity of being able to sell you another BMW. Exactly. So, and they're not making a lot of money out of selling cars, so they have to find new revenue streams. But the same, you know, if you look at household insurance, you know, lots of insurers are trying to put sensors in your home. Classic, you know, Neos, Aviva, tie-up. But a lot of consumers are really wary of their insurance companies knowing when the door's being left unlocked or if the window's being left unlocked. But yet, you know, I mean, even on my phone, you know, my home security company tells me if I've left something unlocked, or I've left the heating on, I've walked out of the house, or I've left the iron on, I've left the house. So I don't have an issue with that. So home security companies are now saying, well, you're already paying £50 a month for your home security. Why don't we up that to 70 or whatever, and we'll bundle home insurance in for you. And actually that's kind of like a no-brainer. And because I don't change my home security system probably like once in every 10 years, I'm not going to have this constant flipping around, looking for a different provider every year on renewal. And actually, the home security company is probably going to be doing it in the background. And will I even know who my insurer is? Probably not. And it's all this stuff people talk about, embedded insurance and ecosystems and stuff like that. It's all becoming reality.
It's going to be completely invisible, insurance. You know, you get with embedded finance that you can still know who your bank provider is, but this sounds like it's going to the point where it's going beyond that, to the point where, as you said, you're not even aware of who your provider is. I mean, are you currently?
Honestly, I could not tell you who my car insurer is, and I only renewed it 6 months ago.
Wow. Okay.
And that's bad, right? I mean, I spent 30 years, I live and breathe this industry, and I can't tell you. So if I can't tell you, you know, how do we expect the average consumer out there to be able to?
I think we've discussed the industry enough. Let's talk about you. Can you tell us your job and your organisation, please?
Job-wise, basically, I do innovation consulting. I essentially get paid for dreaming up crazy ideas for insurance companies, or helping them solve big problems that needs a bit of creative thinking, out of the box thinking. So that could be next generation propositions. It may be a major, they're suffering fraud in a particular type of area, and they kind of just want to think differently about how we solve that. So that's kind of my job. In terms of what I've done, so I have an innovation consultancy, but we're also just about to launch a dating platform, which connects insurtechs with insurers, investors, and advisors. So it's kind of like a four-way dating platform.
I think that's very exciting, and it's just this constant evolving, which maybe the industry probably should have been typifying slightly earlier.
Well, as people in the industry, we're not motivated to behave like that. If I'm a senior claims manager, senior claims director, I'm not incentivized to go and innovate and disrupt my process as my day job. I'm probably paid on how quickly I settle claims or how cheaply I settle claims. I'm definitely not paid to go disrupt the claims process.
Because I imagine that's, the claims side of insurance is obviously one of the highest friction points for the consumer. So to know that that's not being developed is crazy to hear from my perspective, but you can imagine it. But I think it speaks to what the industry needs to focus on, and it's his relationship with the customers, which we've brought up before. And you and I have had an earlier conversation to this video where I think you were telling me about insurers focusing on the wrong stats to their customers and focusing on how many claims they've paid, when in fact they've paid out every 100% of every legitimate
I think the conversation we were having was a couple of adverts that are currently on TV at the moment where, I think one of the insurers says we pay 97% of all claims.
Right.
And as a consumer, I'm hearing you're probably not going to pay my claim. But actually we're paying every legitimate, valid claim.
Yeah.
So why are we not saying that?
That's absurd. That they would do it.
And I suppose, technically we're only paying, there is 3% fraud, but I don't understand why we're not just being open about it.
Yeah.
Because
the insurer isn't the fraudster.
No, absolutely. And I think that, a part of the problem we have is, if you look at the banking industry, the minute I'm 15, 16, I get a bank account.
Right.
So I kind of get used to
dealing with a bank,
dealing with an app, a banking app, and I'm learning what that experience is. I'm learning about banking. Insurance doesn't work like that.
Right.
We're not educating those consumers. So the problem is, by the time I can form an opinion, I'm already biased because all I hear about is the negative stuff. People going, John's
Why
family had a claim and the insurer never paid out, because nobody ever goes, I had a claim and I had this amazing experience. No, nobody talks about that. But we only, people only talk about the negative stuff.
Yeah.
But as a result of that, everyone had, so rather than whereas banking kind of starts at a level playing field.
Sure.
As an insurance industry, we start at -10. And we have to change that. We have to change people's perception of what this is. And I think partly that is the lack of interaction with our customers. 90% of people don't claim.
Wow. Even if they have something worthy.
No. So, everyone that buys car insurance, only 10% of people have a claim, right? So the other 90% don't experience the service that they've just paid for. I've used this example at a couple of the conferences. One of the students, when I was doing a presentation at one of the Nottingham universities, said, I asked them, what's insurance? And this guy stood up and he went, it's like me going into PC World, buying a TV, taking it home, pulling it out of the box, and there's a big sticker on the screen that says, do not switch on for emergencies only. But I've just paid 500 quid for it, so I'm going to stick it on my wall, right? So I stick it on my wall, I don't switch it on because it's not an emergency. And then a year later, PC World rock up at my house, walk in, take it off my wall, take it away, and send me an email saying, hey, would you like another one? It's only £520 this time.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, but that's their perception of our product, our proposition, because we've had no interaction with them. So if you look at all of the tech providers, the whole kind of claims automation, trying to find ways of detecting fraud and all of that kind of stuff, it's very heavily focused on claims.
Yeah.
Not many people focusing on the 90% of people that are not having a claim.
Fascinating.
It's that kind of mentality of how do we build this ongoing relationship. With banking, I'm interacting with my banking app 10 times a day.
Yeah.
With insurance, I don't talk to unless I have a claim, I don't talk to them for a year.
Yeah.
So, if we can start looking at, and we have a stack of data, right? So why can't we say to consumers, I'm in Vegas, so if I wander off down a street, why am I not getting an alert from my insurer kind of going, hey Manjit, a little buzz on my phone going, you might want to be a little bit careful, don't take your phone out.
Proactive insuring rather than reactive insuring.
Yeah. I think this is the most fascinating industry you could ever be involved in. And I guess if I kind of have one wish, is that we communicate to those next generation university students.
But that's what you do, isn't it? You work quite closely with the Nottingham universities, am I right?
Yeah. I'm not sure it's actually my job to be doing that, but I do it because I think it's important for us to do it. And it's quite refreshing, because I don't hear any student, kind of saying, when I graduate, I'm going to go join the insurance industry. Sure. Which frustrates me because I've had an amazing career.
Yeah.
I've traveled the world.
What did you turn down to become work in the insurance side of things?
Well, so I was going to be a fighter pilot,
Oh,
basically.
Really?
So when the Falklands War was on, I was actually going through my officer's aircrew selection
Wow.
process.
Okay.
But then I decided to go to the university off my own back rather than being
Yeah.
sponsored. And my first job was a PC support consultant for a broker software house called Mises, which is now OpenGI. And I'll be honest, that was an amazing career,
Yeah.
an amazing first job, and I kind of never looked back.
Right.
But I get to travel the world. Even here in Vegas, just like kind of walking down from the lobby into the conference, we must have been stopped about 15 times by people that are walking up, giving you hugs, saying, "Hey, buddy, I haven't seen you for." Where else do you get that? What other industry do you? I'm sure you do, but I mean, this is great. It's like working with a massive family that really genuinely cares about each other.
Yeah.
Large
but close knit.
Yeah, it's very, but it happens wherever you are in the world.
Yeah.
So I love it, and whilst there are few little regrets about not being a fighter pilot, but this has been an incredible career.
Yeah. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, Manjit, and
I've enjoyed it.
You've
It's
given
been
me
great.
such excitement for the future of the insurance industry, knowing that it's not going to be insurance anymore, but the scope of where it's going to be touching.
It's just going to be different. It's
Yeah.
going to evolve into a different model.
Yeah, right. Looking forward to, after I've parked up, seeing you on the conference floor.
Yeah, we've got our big demo, launch demo tomorrow.
Absolutely
So
amazing.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Good seeing you.
It's been an absolute pleasure, right? And we'll see you on the conference floor.
Look forward to it.
And yeah, it should be absolutely brilliant.
All right.
Yeah.